Morning, man. We got a special situation because we're talking about it. It's national news now, all over headlines. We're sitting here this morning with Judge Christina Peterson. I don't know if you've seen the situation, but it's been alleged that she attacked the Atlanta police officer and has been charged with it. Also, she'll definitely be able to give her a recount of what took place. Accompanying her is the victim in the situation as well, Alexandria Lowe. I guess I could say everyone in the situation is a victim at this point.
Now, I already knew this was going to be a BS softball interview, but that right there was confirmation. No one in that room about to tell their story is a victim. The judge and the hyena she was so-called defending, both of them proved themselves to be entitled and delusional. But we're about to break down these lies. It's Judge Peterson, the city girl BBL judge, just kicked off the bench officially by the Georgia Supreme Court. She's at the radio station to discuss that and her arrest outside of a bar in Atlanta. We're going to get into it, but first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
But I want to get right into it. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Very well.
All right, so we've been seeing it all over the news. You've been charged with, I would say, attacking a police officer. If you could, so we don't have to narrate it, you guys just want to tell us what actually took place this night?
All right. Would you like to start, Miss Love?
Yes. So about 2:58, I got a text message from a friend that he was at the food truck and come order some food. I then proceeded to step out of Red Martini, go to the food truck and order food. There was a lady on the right of me and a tall guy behind me. And as I told my friend what I wanted to eat, the lady proceeds to say to me that I cut the line. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not trying to cut the line. I'm just trying to order my food. My friend is up here at the front of the line, and I'm about to get out the way.
She said, I'm not trying to cut the line. But ma'am, yes or no, did you cut the line? And everybody remember that part because this is how it all started.
She's like, well, you bumped me also. So I apologized. I said, well, I don't believe I bumped you, but if I bumped you, I apologize for that.
So not only did she cut in line in front of all these people, she bumped a woman as she did it. And it was so insignificant to her that she's claiming that she didn't realize she did it.
She proceeded to say, we been here waiting. The guys behind me saying, yeah, we been here waiting, calling me out my name, BITCHs. And that's when I turn around and I look at him because I'm appalled. Like, are you serious right now? I ain't said nothing to you. And I'm being called out my name. So the girl, she's like, don't look at him. Don't talk to him. It's between me and you. And I'm like, actually, there's nothing going on between me and you because I just apologized. And at this point, I'm done talking to y'all. And I shut up. By this time, the lady, she keeps going on with the conversation with the guy. She's saying, oh, BITCHs think that they're pretty and they're going to continue to get pretty privileges. And the guy is agreeing with her, calling me calling me BITCHs. And so I'm like, okay, at this point, I feel like my life is being threatened. So I do a whole 360 and turn around and face both of them.
Listen to all this baby bop bimbo babble. Her life was being threatened, so she turned around and started doing what? Your life was threatened by them talking trash about you, all because they were mad you jumped in front of them and you bumped a woman, being disrespectful? Listen, this happened in Atlanta. And let me tell you, let me set the scene for you. You have all these people sitting around late at night after the bar, the club, or whatever. They're standing in line at a food truck, and out of nowhere, this one right here ran in front of all of them. In the process of skipping the line, she bumped the woman, and when they told her about it, instead of saying, my bad, let me move out of the way, she just stood up there like, okay, and what? I didn't mean to do it. What you mean you ain't mean to cut in line? You cut in line, so move out the way. That's how you fix that. No, the other woman felt disrespected because she just walked up there in front of her, bumped her as she did it, and then proceeded to order as if she did nothing. Them standing there talking trash about you, about how you jumped in front of them, that was threatening your life? No, you heard them talking trash about you. They was like, I can't believe this B just jumped in front of us. These HOs think they can do whatever and disrespect people. That's what they said. You didn't like what they said, so you turned around and did what? She escalated the whole situation. That's what she did.
And I proceed to say, I just apologized to you. Why are you carrying on this conversation?
Yeah, you apologized, girl, but you didn't move out of the way. So the woman didn't think your apology was sincere. You still had that attitude of entitlement about yourself.
I look at him. I said, and you as a grown man, why are you trying to provoke me as a woman calling me on my name and I ain't said 3 words to you? I ain't said nothing to you.
You see how the woman was the first to call her out her name, but she's directing all her energy now to the man? Technically, according to your own story, he wasn't talking to you either. Everything that he said about you was to the other woman. Basically, the other woman was venting, and they had started a conversation. He hadn't addressed you yet. You see these lying misandrists? They're manipulators. But guess who can see right through you? I'm not Miss Shanika. I'm not Young Jock. I see exactly what happened.
So this is when it started getting more rowdy. Because at this point, she's going off, and I'm like, y'all are crazy. I'm just telling them about themselves.
She's trying to make it seem like the other woman was just going off. But just a couple of seconds before, she said she turned around and basically turned up. But while she's sitting up here at the radio station, she's going to try to minimize what she did to play the victim. But remember, she said she did a complete 360, right?
He then steps in front of her as she take her shoes off, trying to come to me. I'm like, oh, this is what we're doing. And he jumps in front of her and he pushes me.
I do not believe she's telling the whole truth. So she's trying to say the woman took her shoes off, getting ready to fight, and the man jumped in between them and pushed her? Nah, that man wasn't trying to fight her. Sounds like he didn't know either of them. The logical part here is that he stepped in the middle of them to prevent them from getting into it. And it sounds like as he did that, she got aggressive with him. That's how that usually goes. Just like how the police stepped in to stop all of this and they started wilding on the police. Now I already know what time it is with you out of control hyenas. That's what really happened.
It wasn't a light push, it was a tackle. Like I was being tackled. That's why my elbows are scratched up. My thumb, I forgot my brace when I got out the shower because I was rushing. My thumb is messed up. I keep getting spasms through my wrist.
And man, whatever injuries you sustained, that's from you fighting. The woman was trying to fight you, and then you started fighting with that man. Oh, I left my brace at home, playing victim to distract us from the details and the rest of the story. Manipulation deflection 101.
I had a black eye.
You still got it. Sorry.
Kind of.
Look at her, lying and laughing. And man, where's the black eye? This just happened a couple of days ago, by the way. Where's the black eye? And let me tell you what nobody up there is going to tell her. Nobody's going to say, why did you jump in that man's face? Why did you start tussling with the man? Why did you do that? I told y'all that in my first review of the body cam footage. I said she was fighting. And I remember hearing one of the girls saying that. She admitted that she was fighting. But as they told their story to the police, they switched it up and tried to make her look like a victim. So a lot of those people standing around there happened to be either her friend or the friend of the judge. And all these hyenas started lying to cover for themselves. You know who I want to hear from? The first woman. The woman you jumped in front of at that food truck and the woman who said you bumped into her. That's who I want to talk to. Where is she? Because everybody on that body cam footage cannot be trusted, including this one right here. You can see all the lies in the story.
I'm sorry.
I kind of still have a black eye.
I don't get it. What joke was said? Why is this so funny?
Yeah. He proceeded to push me down. I get up. I start taking off my heels because my heels are wrapped around my ankles at this point. The man is literally standing in my face in the video. Standing in my face, yelling at me, end it, end it, end it. Because that's in the car right now. In the trunk. Talking about killing me. So I proceed to walk to the left of him out his face. And he follows me. And that's when he threw a punch. And I jumped back and I got in my stance.
After she said all of that, you know the one part she conveniently left out? The part where she put hands on him. Moments before, she turned around, turned up, but never explained what she really did then. She just said what the other woman did, and she said what he did. Not once did she say what she did. And that's the whole part of the manipulation. She's conveniently omitting parts of the story. Why is that? Oh yeah, for all of y'all to feel sorry for her and make her the victim.
Like, my dad ain't taught me how to stand.
Okay, so let's fast forward it, because, you know, it's a lot of theater of the mind. You're trying to figure out, where did you come into this conflict? How did you come to this confrontation?
I don't know Miss Love, and I didn't know her during this incident or before. I'm just standing out in line trying to get, you know, a little processed hot dog, you know, that I didn't need at that time. But I come up, well, actually, I didn't hear any of whatever confrontation she is describing. I was just standing in line waiting on food.
Exactly. You have no idea what was happening, what was going on. You just jumped your no neck behind all up in their situation and started going off not knowing nothing. So of course, she's not going to address that this woman initiated and escalated this whole situation by jumping in front of these people, bumping into that woman, and then having a nasty disposition about it, and basically was being defiant and just stood there.
And it was a long line. It was taking quite some time, but I just saw a man rush past me punching on a woman. That's all I saw. And at that point when I saw it, just automatically I went into, okay, let me try to, I just didn't see anybody helping or trying to stop it.
And this is supposed to be a lawyer, an educated woman. Not once did she think in her mind that the reason no one stopped is because she was the one out of order and started the whole fight. The only thing you see is the retaliation. But obviously it's other people standing around. They saw the whole thing. And that's why nobody was on her side, because she was wrong. She jumped in front of those people, she bumped that lady, and she started fighting them. The other lady was trying to fight her because she was talking crazy to them. Like, how dare y'all talk about me and call me out for jumping in front of y'all and being entitled. The man tried to break up the fight between them, and then she redirected all the smoke for him. That's what happened. Now, will the BBL judge address that? Of course not, because she's got to hang on to this story that this woman is a victim in order for her to try to justify why she got involved in this in the first place. But still, like I said before, none of that justifies her striking the police. None of that justifies her pushing them. None of that justifies her getting all in the middle of their investigation. None of it. So any way they try to put this and act like they're all victims, you are still wrong.
So I just went into like, okay, let me try to stop. I mean, I can't do anything. I can't punch him. I can't hit him. Let me try to see if I can pull him off. Because it was like he was pursuing her. He was walking, she was walking backwards and he was walking forwards, punching her. So what I tried to do once they walked past me was pull on his shirt to pull him, like to try to slow his stride so she could get away. But after, I don't know what happened in that mix, then a guy just, took her. And I'm like, so this guy, I knew he wasn't trying to help her. Why do you have your hands on her? So I was like, I just seen the trauma she had just gone through in the attack. So I just walked up and tried to tell the man, whoever that man was, get your hands off her. It wasn't an officer. It was a man. I don't know if he was security, because the Red Martini security has on red shirts. He had on black, like the dude who was attacking her. So I was like, get your hands off. I don't know who you are. Just get your hands off her. And he never let her go. So I'm just keep telling her, I'm trying to grab for her arm. Get your hands off her. And then I guess it's the officer now, but my focus was on her at the time. But he keeps.
This woman is such a liar. You guess it's the officer now? Yeah, it was the officer the whole time. Remember from the video footage, after she hit him, everybody was like, hey, that's the police. Like, you tripping. Don't tell me she was loose on the goose too, because we all heard the reaction of the people around her when she hit that police officer. And look at her body language. She just keep lying over and over and over. That's why she's looking down. This woman is a complete liar. Just trying to find a way to dramatize this story to appear like she's a victim. No, you got 2 charges. One was obstruction and one for hitting that officer. You are not a victim here. You did all that.
I guess he's trying to grab at my arm. And finally I say, stop touching me. And then I just get knocked out. That's what it was. And then after that, I get cuffs put on me.
Lying once again. She's trying to say that the officer did not accuse her of punching him till somebody told him she was a judge. That's a lie. If you go back to the video, I got it right on here. As soon as she did it, he said that. So that's a whole lie. And look how she's looking with this stupid, pathetic look while she's telling the lie. And I wish Young Jock and Miss Shanika, I wish they had done their research before they accepted this interview, because they're all just sitting up there allowing her to lie to them right in their faces and in front of their audience.
And then at that time, people tell the officer that's a judge. And once I get to the car, then the officer alleges that I punched him.
Exactly, you dean bad. That's the battery on the officer. Like, oh my God, you think we're all dumb?
So I was arrested at that time he said it was disorderly conduct. 7 to 8 hours later, when I was finally taken to the jail, I was told I'm arrested for felony obstruction and battery on an officer. Originally, when I was arrested, I was told I punched an officer in the head. Now, it's alleged that I pushed him. So that's where we're at.
You did both. Ma'am, it was all on camera. And everybody around saw you do it.
Now, how does this play out? Because now, as I'm reading headlines and things like that, I'm saying former judge, you lose your job behind
Yes,
this.
I did.
No, you didn't. You lost your job over those ethics violations and you know it. This woman had over 50 violations. I started reporting on this 3 years ago before everybody else jumped on this. 3 years ago, over 50 violations she had. They got it dropped down to 30, but after the investigation and the hearing, they found her guilty on 28. That was months ago now. That's why she lost her job. And again, something she's not going to say right now, she will still be leaving office at the end of this year. She did not win her re-election.
And it's not just, I didn't just lose my job behind this. I've lost my job over, it's been attacks gradually. It's not just been this. This has been it's been a systemic plot to get rid of. I don't know if you're familiar with Douglas County, Georgia.
I am.
Once again, this stupid, goofy hyena. What's so funny? She's using laughter as a distraction. She's not going to talk about nothing she did. None of those violations, none of them. Right now, she's trying to blame it all on being a black woman. But while she's doing it, she's so disingenuous that she can't even keep a straight face.
Okay.
I live there. I've been on probation there. I did everything there. I defend myself. I've worked with the kids in the community there, so I'm very familiar with Douglas County and the politics.
I just gotta add this just to back up what you're saying.
You notice one thing though? She tried to do all this laughing and be a distraction, using that to manipulate this whole situation. But you notice how Jock and Shawty, they didn't even crack a smile. And Shawty, that's the comedian. But let me tell you something I noticed throughout this whole interview. I know that he knew she was full of it. If nobody else in the room picked up on it, Shawty knew she was full of it. And you'll see he'll be the only one to give her any pushback.
Okay.
And you know, this has just been a transparent moment. You know, you and I spoke 2022
Okay.
about this, and we were having a conversation. We were doing an event,
Yes.
a give back event with the kids and whatnot. And in the midst of that event, you said, you know what? Somebody needs to highlight the way these officials are being attacked. These black officials are being attacked. You told me this in 2022.
I did.
Jock, she told you that in 2022 because in 2021, she had already been in office violating all kinds of rules. Not only that, she was accused of stealing from her neighbors involving the HOA by then. So yeah, she was trying to tell you, oh yeah, everybody's just trying to come for me. No, she was already playing dirty and getting exposed for a left and right. And just because you didn't know what was going on, that was nothing new.
And when I looked at you, I saw everything from as great as that moment we were having. You looked deep into my eyes and you said, this is a very serious issue and someone needs to address it because it's being smoothed over and people are overlooking it. And so to see you here today with this type of situation, you know, my heart goes out to you because, you know, I watched the video. A lot of people have definitely had some negative things to say. No, you know, they weren't there. And you're getting a lot of backlash because some people, you know, when you get a title, people don't necessarily think that you're human.
Right.
You're only that title. And in that moment, you know, confrontation, altercation, you got involved, you got knocked out. This young lady, she's got bruises all over. You got bruises. You actually have one of the witnesses here with you as well, the main witness who's been advocating for justice for this situation, who everyone seems to be overlooking. Because it's like there's a witness, but you still got these charges.
Okay.
Yeah, she got the charges because she jumped up in the officers' faces, she put her hands on them, and intervened in their investigation. She didn't get the charges for nothing, and there's no injustice against her.
Because I did see the video.
Yeah.
I've been following the story. I actually saw you on another video. I guess when it was the lady was got 20 days for
2 days. That was the mispublication of that was the media. Okay.
It was on but my thing is, post you being arrested and the behavior that you displayed, do you think that that's becoming of someone who's sitting on the bench and who's supposed to represent justice and not cause dismay?
And you know what? I gotta give him his props for that because nobody else in the room was gonna say anything. There is no way to justify her actions. And look at her, she don't like that.
Well, I would say this. At the beginning of the day and at the end, I'm a human being and I deserve justice just as you do. I believe we're misunderstanding and mischaracterizing what we're looking at here.
No way. We all saw what happened. Yeah, you not about to pop your thought pocket out of this. We saw it. And she keep on throwing out those buzzwords. What injustice? You did all of this yourself. You. It was you. And throughout this whole interview, she failed to accept accountability whatsoever. Just like a true city girl, which is why I named her the City Girl Judge 3 years ago.
My rights were violated. So you're talking about someone who fights for your rights, and I protect you. I protected you as a lawyer. I protected you as a prosecutor. I protected you as a judge.
What are you talking about? All you did was make sure you padded your pockets. Yes, she found ways to finesse money. You didn't protect anything or anybody but your own interests. That's it. Like, cut this out. You see how she's trying to pivot right now? Like she's a freedom fighter or like she's Judge Christina Scott King. Ma'am, stop it. We all see what you're doing. You can't be a judge anymore in Georgia. So now she's trying to pivot into a freedom fighter lawyer. Stop it. Nobody violated your rights.
Where's the protection for me? Where's the protection for women? Where's the protection for Black women?
The manipulation never fails. Now she's blowing the whistle, throwing out all these buzzwords, protect Black women, so a bunch of ding-dongs could just get on board with her and care zero about the facts, don't know what's going on. She's just trying to get a bunch of people to rally behind her, all in the name of protect Black women, when she was the one out of order. And before her, it was the other woman that she called herself defending. She was defending some nonsense, but she'll never say that. Talk about protecting Black women. What about the Black woman that the other Black woman jumped in front of and bumped into? The Black man was trying to stop them from fighting, and then she started fighting him. They're not going to say any of that. They're just going to give you this sob story. They are obviously lying. She and the other woman sitting up there laughing while they're lying. Why? To distract us from the truth. And it's disrespectful to real victims. This is why when people are really in trouble, it's hard to get somebody to believe them because of people like her and people like the other woman. They just sit up and lie and just use these other women's situations to justify their own behavior.
So I'm saying when you're looking at the after effects, you're looking at, oh, she was using profanity, which is not becoming for sure. But let's address how I got unlawful force by an officer. I've never been punched out. I've never been hit, knocked down by an officer. I've never been lied on by an officer.
The officer didn't put her on the ground until after she hit him. He put her on the ground and handcuffed her. That's normal protocol. Nobody punched her out. None of that happened. She's lying once again. And she's able to do that in front of people who won't check her or who don't have all the information or who didn't watch the full video to know what happened.
So have you been lied on? Have your brothers been lied on? They gives you another type of feeling of infuriation.
First of all, this woman is a misandrist. But right now, she's using a different strategy. She's trying to get Black men to connect with her. Talking about Black men, did you get lied on? Black men, did your brother get lied on? Ma'am, this is not about them. It's about you. Did you get lied on? And the answer is no. Nobody lied on you. You're the one sitting up here lying, as if we're all too stupid to see and process what happened. What I'm really noticing is that this woman, she thinks she's smart, but she's really an idiot, depending on everybody else around her to be ignorant.
Coupled with what I've had to endure all of these years, protecting you, protecting your rights, fighting for the rights of people.
The gaslighting here is so strong. She won't stop saying I was protecting you. You weren't protecting nobody. Like, stop all this foolishness, especially Black men.
It's like, I can fight for you. I can stand on the front line to fight for you as an attorney and as a judge. I'm on the front line fighting for equal justice.
Girl, stop it. You know you ain't nowhere at the front line but at that food truck. We already know that, Judge BBL. You know you ain't wobbling that BBL nowhere, but down to the front of the line to get some buffalo wings or something.
But when something happens to me, y'all are like, that's not becoming. Like, the thing is, I shouldn't have to cuss. The people out there should have been fighting for me.
So now she's trying to blame everybody else around her, saying they should have been fighting for her, getting herself arrested. She was the one that hit the police. She was the one that was pushing and shoving them. She was the one that sabotaged the whole investigation. And everybody should have fought for her? You can't make this stuff up.
They should have been advocating for me. So yeah, it's very frustrating, and it's not becoming. But in that moment, I was a woman that had been hit by a man. I'm not used to that.
And look how she's looking down once again, lying. All of a sudden, she's trying to tell a story that she was hit by a man. No, ma'am, you're lying. You're the one who hit him. You pushed and shoved and hit the police officers. That's why you got arrested. They didn't hit you. And I can't believe she would be so bold to lie like this when there's so much video footage showing that she's not telling the truth. Just the audacity to still get up here and lie. Why is that? Because it's very easy to fool black people. It's people listening to her on the radio who will not go do their research, who would not go and fact check what she's saying, and they're going to believe everything that she's saying just because she's saying it. That's how they think. No looking over her or verification, nothing. And that's what she's counting on. That ignorance and the audience to just go along with her because she's a black woman trying to protect all the black men and the black women.
You see how frustrated and upset I was for her being attacked? I hadn't even been touched at that time. And I was saying, get your effing hands off her. I hadn't been hit. But then after I've been hit, I'm very upset. So that's kind of where we were.
All right, let me ask this. So the guy, the attacker in the situation, I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about him at all. What is his current situation?
And just like any other feminist misandrist, she's got to get up here and redirect the conversation. Like, what about that man? What happened to that big bad boogeyman who was trying to stop those two women from fighting at the food truck and the one hyena turned on both of them? Yeah, what about that man? Where is he?
Really, I can't really go into details, but the warrants are out.
So he didn't get arrested?
No, they didn't do nothing. Nobody did anything. Everybody was running to the police car. I have footage of them running to the police car. That man just slung that woman. That man just pushed that woman. That man just beat that woman. That man, and guess what all they did? Oh, guess what they did? Took her, 5 cops.
And one thing about this one right here, she's never going to say that she was fighting this man. She's not going to say that she put hands on him first. In fact, I remember one of the women who was a witness, she started the story off telling the police that she was fighting the man. But then she switched up the story and said, oh, the man was beating on the woman. This woman right here was involved in mutual combat with that man. That's what happened. She was about to start fighting the woman. The man stepped in between both of them. She redirected her energy to him and attacked him instead. He told her to stop and she kept going. Just like when the police got there and told all of them to stop and she kept going. Judge BBL, she kept going too.
The purpose was not for justice of the victim. The purpose of at that moment was to take down a sitting judge. As I stated, it was a setup.
Here we go. They came for me because I was a black woman. I was a sitting judge. Like, ma'am, how was it a setup when they weren't even able to identify you until you got down to the jail? They didn't know your position at first. So how was this all some conspiracy against you? This woman is absolutely crazy and refused to take accountability whatsoever. Everything is everybody else's fault. Nothing is her fault at all. And the only reason why everything is happening to her is because she's a black woman and she was a sitting judge and they wanted to come for her because she was black.
As I have been talking about, it was a setup. You had 5 officers putting me in a car. Nobody spoke to this lady.
Talked to me.
Nobody spoke. Nobody apprehended the man who attacked her. Once I was put in the car by 5 officers and drove off,
Wow.
they had to call the officers back to make a report.
Young Jock in the Streets morning takeover. We are back. Miss Shanika and Shouter this morning was sitting in with Judge Christina Peterson, and she's accompanied by Marvin Arrington Jr.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
The great. Let's put that on now.
All right.
So apparently you're representing.
Yes, I'm representing Judge Peterson. I think this case, we're looking forward to her complete exoneration. She did not do anything wrong. She was simply a good Samaritan trying to help a woman that was under attack. And so, we're just looking forward to her complete exoneration. We've seen the officer change the story. Initially, he said he was struck with a fist. Now they're stating that she pushed him twice and swiped his hands away.
And pushing and shoving an officer, what is that? Like, please stop. I already told y'all that this man right here was corrupt. I've been saying that for months now. This is Fanny's bestie.
They say that they were there to investigate the fight, but they did not speak with any witness. You can see in the video there are like 50 witnesses out there.
Right.
They didn't speak with the victim. They didn't speak with the assailant. They didn't detain the man. 5 police cars pulled up, and all 5 police cars drove away after Judge Peterson was arrested.
And what he's not going to say is how the police came for one incident, but when they showed up, who was the one trying to stop the police from doing the investigation? It was a judge. So they're acting like they arrested her for no reason. They came out there for people fighting when they got there. They found one woman still hyped up after fighting, because her daddy taught her how to square up. And then you had the other one, Judge BBL. She was out there turning up too. So she's the one who sabotaged the investigation. And again, the only reason why they are desperately trying to make this other woman a victim is because they need that to somehow justify the judge's reaction.
To the point where the victim and her friends had to sit there, call the police, back out to the scene
to file a report.
Hell,
that's disgusting.
And then the police report says that the victim was being escorted out of the club. Well, we know that everyone was already outside of the club. They were in line waiting for food. So the police report is completely inaccurate. And the original statement, the warrant, the affidavit warrant, the warrant that was made by the officer said that it was a closed fist and that the body cam footage would support that. That statement made to the judge was made under oath, under penalty of perjury. Well, I think that officer is going to have some explaining to do. We're going to move to quash that arrest warrant because it's inaccurate.
This man is full of it. She was pushing and shoving him first, then she punched him. And when she punched him, everybody around, you can hear all of them shocked. And they're like, hey, that's the police.
I like the way you just laid that out. You are a lawyer, I'm sure you're an attorney and a judge. I just, I've been through the legal system on both sides. And I just, I've been trained to know how to act. Why would you think playing it in public opinion instead of remaining silent and fighting it in the court? What's that strategy?
Because one, they all want attention. They all want this spotlight to pivot to some other career high. But yeah, they're trying to play this out in the public in order to gain sympathy from the public and get all black people to rally behind her.
Well, I mean, I think it's two battles, right? You got to fight on all fronts, right? You can't just fight on one front and give or retreat on the other one. So I think in this particularly, because she is a judge, that we have to also fight the public battle, the perception battle, right? And so there's more, as you stated, there's more going on than just this judge got arrested for hitting the cop. The judge wasn't even involved in the fight. She didn't know these people. She was a witness trying to help a lady. I guess they say, no good deed goes unpunished, right? And so the judge is there trying to do a good deed and gets punished and arrested. She's the only person that got arrested for, I don't know, I guess allegedly for disorderly conduct at first, but, now striking an officer. So.
And I've been telling y'all that he's corrupt for months. He's just lying too. The charge was always that she punched the officer. That's what she was charged with. That was on the booking report, on the body cam. That was said when she did it, after she did it, when she got to the police station. I don't know why they're trying to make it seem like, oh, the story just changed up. No, the only stories that's changing up right now will be your stories. Y'all trying to craft up these stories between her and the other lady who was out there fighting, who started all this. Remember, she initiated and started all this with that other woman and that man. And now they're all getting together, strategizing and lying, crafting up these victim stories. And they're the ones that's changing every minute. Even on scene, her friends caught on the body cam, their stories were changing too. I'm talking about in mid-conversation. Again, this is very disrespectful. They're expecting all they gotta do is come to black media, talk to the black audience, and everybody will be too stupid to figure it all out. We're supposed to go along with whatever story they come up with.
It's just one of those things that you have to fight, another battle. We'll file all the appropriate paperwork to fight this in court. I've already reached out to District Attorney Fonnie Willis. She was a classmate of mine from Emory Law School.
What I told y'all? Listen when I tell you, I know all about this guy. Not only is he her attorney, but he's a Fulton County commissioner. And not just any old commissioner, but he's over the budget for the DA. He's been friends with Fannie for decades. And yeah, I know some of these ding-dongs, they're gonna hear that and act like they figured it out all on their own, like they know all about what's going on in Atlanta, but this is where they're gonna get it from. This guy, he's been colluding with Fannie since before she got in office. It's a lot going on.
So I at least, can have a conversation with her.
Don't do that.
Well, look.
All right.
Yes, do that. Shawty in the background was saying Fanny be on that Grey Goose. So I guess from one drunk official to another, we already know where this going.
You know, she's a black woman. You're not going to be able to tell her what to do. Franny Willis going to do what she want to do. But I could at least sit down and have a real conversation with her about what happened, look at the video, and, you know, assess how this case needs to be resolved.
And so was there any conversation with the police chief at all?
No, I haven't spoken with the police chief because, you know, once the police have arrested her, it's now in the hands of Fulton County. She's charged with a felony. And so the district attorney's office will have to be the ones to indict the case or not indict the case. And so that is really where we are now, at least on the legal side.
All right, we're back at it. Young Jock in the Streets morning. Take over Miss Shanika and Shawty. We're sitting here with Judge Christina Peterson. This is a situation that has been all over the news, national news now. Also, alongside her is a witness, Madison Shannon Kelly, who actually saw this whole altercation. You actually got it on camera. You filmed it, right?
Yes. I was the person that took the videos that you've been seeing all over the Instagram. Also, I was the person that initially saw the fact that the cop walked up behind her and it was a total chaos and accident that whatever he's saying, she did not intentionally put her hands on any cops or do any of that.
Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Why did they do this to themselves? Basically, she's admitting that she saw the judge hit him, but she's trying to say it wasn't intentional. I had to make sure y'all saw this part. And they think she's helping their case?
And I know for a fact that we was at a food truck. He was not taking a report at the time. I'm also the person that left my friend and wasn't brave enough to help her, and I ran to get security. That's who I am. And I was turned down by the security. They refused to help me. And then after the altercation, I was the person that had to call police back to the scene with my friend to get the police back to the scene because they totally left us outside.
I'm sorry, I gotta address the elephant in the room. Where are all these poor young women that were involved in this supposedly? All I see is a bunch of middle-aged women. And I have to be honest, they're out in the middle of the night on a Thursday night like some young college girls at Spelman. These are overgrown women. I'm sorry, I haven't seen the young woman yet. I just see a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds.
So you telling me the initial reason that the officers responded for, that was just kind of put on the back burner?
Yes. And I had to I really had to literally calm my friend down because she had been assaulted and nobody else helped her. And she was visibly upset. And it says in our report, the reason why she was so upset after the scene is because we saw an innocent woman that we had no idea who she was had went to jail, and I watched the person just literally walk away.
The attacker.
And I feel like if the focus had been put on the actual attack or what was going on, then we wouldn't be still looking for this gentleman.
And your friend should have been in jail too. Ma'am, your friend is not innocent.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I don't know how far this is going to go, but your camera footage, it definitely gives us some insight. But that's a club, and that's in Buckhead, and there's cameras all around that place. So I think that should be the next point of action because, you know, them cameras don't lie. And I mean, I myself have been in some situations in front of cameras, and people, when you see it, that's why you got to go and get not just camera phone footage. You got to go get footage that could show you from beginning to the end. So in your conquest to receive fair justice, I hope that everything plays out, on your behalf. Thank you for sharing your story.
Okay. So what happens now, like with your, with them, I guess, not having you as a judge anymore in Douglasville?
They've already tapped whoever they want to be in that seat already. I believe, again, the attacks on me is because I was challenging her qualifications to be in that seat. A lot of her actions could probably get her felonies. And so I was exposing that, which is why I believe I became more of a target. But they already have that. I feel like I'm going to let them have what they need. I'm going to fight where I want it. I'm going to fight for the people who want my fight. So that's where I'll be. This won't be the last of me for sure.
Once again, lies. It's like she can't speak without lying. The people voted her out anyway. They did not want her there anymore. So even if she wasn't kicked out of office, she wasn't coming back after the end of the year. And again, you all have to remember, I told you months ago after her hearing that the board's recommendation was for her to be removed from the bench. They found she was incompetent. And it's not from one situation or two situations. She had 50 charges, over 50 in the beginning. And it didn't just start this year. It didn't start last year. I've been knowing this since 2021. It's not new. And obviously you see what she's trying to do. She's trying to pivot into becoming a social justice lawyer or fight for people's rights, some type of criminal defense attorney. But she better hope she's not disbarred. Because I'm gonna be honest, this woman is so corrupt, she should not have a license anywhere. And again, it's not from this situation. It's not just from two other situations. I'm talking about a long history of documented offenses by this woman.
Thank you, Judge Christina Peterson. Thank you again, Madison
Shannon
Kelly. That was you got like 3 first names. And thank you to everybody else involved, from the initial victim and to your legal counsel, Marvin Arrington Jr. as well. Hey man, it's gonna be more gonna come out on this, and we're gonna definitely be the first to have you in the know with all that, man. Thank you again for joining us.
So that's the whole interview. You saw the whole thing here. Jock is saying they're going to update you on the case and everything. Whatever update they give you is going to be more manipulation fed to them by this woman right here. That's it. For them to sit up here and have this interview, not really be prepared and know enough about the situation to be able to see where this woman was lying to their audience, lying in their face, I can't trust their report. So no, keep your report. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about all this below. Special thank you to Edmund and Rob P. I appreciate you all for your support, as well as our brother Dark Power. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.